Welcome to the AquaBlack Podcast. I'm here with
Kweku
and Michael.
And we got an interesting topic for you guys today. We're going to talk about Stoicism. Basically, you guys want to... Okay, so Stoicism is a very broad topic. It has some interesting origins. It goes back to Hellenistic philosophy. It kind of flourished throughout the Roman and Greek world until the 3rd century AD. And it's basically a philosophy on personal ethics, which is like informed by a system of logic kind of thing. You guys want to go ahead and detail exactly what Stoicism is?
You want to go ahead?
Or some traits of Stoicism?
All right. So again, Stoicism was created by a man named Zeno. He was from Athens. So what happened was that he some background information on Stoicism on how it was birthed. He was from the place called Cyprus, or modern day Cyprus. And he was a wealthy merchant, and he got stranded in Athens, and he had no money, nothing to his name, just the clothes on his back, and he wandered into a bookstore, looking at like the philosophies books and stuff, and he noticed Socrates' books, and they were like, "Where is this man?" And like they, directed him to like where Socrates was teaching at the time.
Yeah, Socrates.
Oh, Socrates. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Well, anyways, he became a student of Socrates, and from there, Stoicism was born essentially. So essentially, it's like,
it basically means like it's like you're living in accordance with reason and common good, and that we can only control our actions and our will. Yeah. So it has like four cardinal virtues, I guess. It has like four cardinal virtues. It's wisdom, temperance, justice, and courage. So wisdom as in navigate through complex situations in a logical, calm manner. Temperance, exercising self-restraint and moderation in all aspects of life. And justice, treating others with fairness. Courage, facing daily challenges with clarity and integrity. Stoics, it's like someone who it's like modern day colloquial like meaning is kind of someone who remains calm under pressure and calm under emotional extremes. So if a huge event happened in your life that kind of made you a bit emotional, what a Stoic would do is kind of detach himself from his emotion and just remain calm. So something really tragic or bad happened to him and his family, a Stoic would remain calm and kind of mentally solid like a rock.
So over here, like going off of that, it says here, that the Stoics taught that emotions resulted in errors of judgment, which were destructive. Due to active relationship between cosmic determinism and human freedom, the belief is that that it is virtuous to maintain a will or prohairesis that is accord with nature. So basically, almost like I'm going to relate it to pop culture in a way. If you've ever seen anything related to like Batman, for instance, Bruce Wayne.
Oh shit, that's a really good example.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne. He was taught by Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you say it, and a bunch of other like heroes. They were all taught that if you act in your emotions, you can't act rationally, pretty much. And so, you just won't. It won't work right.
A better example would be Star Wars, how the dark side is ruled by
emotion,
and a true Jedi is not
detached
from emotions.
Yeah,
because emotions bring out both the best and the worst of a person.
So it's really interesting to imagine that if you act out of like emotion,
we saw
it
that
can mess
Luke.
up a lot of things.
Yeah, we saw that with Luke.
Yeah,
right.
I mean Anakin
Skywalker. Where he was like he was pretty stoic to begin with, and then his emotions kind of enveloped him and turned him into
Darth Vader.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, dang. And going back to Batman, that's like a perfect example. Like Batman is honestly like the epitome of stoicism for me.
So let me say the background of like Bruce Wayne specifically.
Yeah, for you guys to
Batman.
understand.
For people who don't know exactly Batman's story, Bruce Wayne, his parents were killed when he was a kid, like a younger kid, like 10-year-old or something like that. And so for a long time, he did a lot of things acting out of just emotion, just anything related to, it's almost like the PTSD feeling.
Yeah.
Acted out like, oh, I want to kill this dude, or I want to do this because someone might have killed my parents that I may know of, so I want to do this about it. And then obviously, you know, Alfred and a bunch of other people were teaching him like you should not act on that, because if you act on that, it's going to take you to even darker points of your life that you can never get away from, detach yourself from later on.
Yeah. He had a lot of emotional scars, and it was like, I think part of what made Batman so amazing, and gave him that stoic personality was, whether it's healthy or not, Batman had to kind of completely emotionally detach, because it was like he has all this emotional trauma, all this emotional baggage, and it's like if he dwells on it, it'll eat him up alive. So he kind of emotionally detached himself, and then you see like throughout the comics, throughout the TV shows, throughout the movies, you see kind of like a man struggle with all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like Batman has a hard time opening up. Batman has a hard time feeling emotion because he's distanced himself so much from emotion, and that's kind of the result of being a stoic, you know, per se. And it's like when you have the stoic personality, it can be good, but there's also parts of it that can be bad. Completely being emotionally detached and being that way for so long can cause you to lose like elements like empathy. You know, it causes you to it's like humans are emotional in nature. So when you completely distance yourself from your emotions, it's like you're a robot kind of thing. But I guess the Stoics also have justice, you know, treating others with fairness, one of the cardinal virtues that kind of saves them from that complete emotional detachment.
Well, here, I'm going to quote Reddit for once.
Reddit.
Yeah, Reddit, the infamous Reddit. So 2 people here. One person, he said, Alfred Pennyworth is the Stoic. He is Bruce Wayne's rock in the sea of insanity. In the Nightfall novelization, I don't know about that. He said he recalls Alfred telling Bruce to accept that there are things in his life that are out of his control. And another thing here.
So let's go back to the topic. A big aspect of Stoicism is that there's a huge cause and effect relationship, and there's nothing that you can like directly like affect like the cause, but you can affect like the outcome, or like react how you can react to like the outcome.
Exactly. Like Stoics believe in everything around us happening in a web of cause and effect.
Yeah.
Like resulting in a rational structure of the universe called logos.
Logos, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's like Stoics have this whole the whole yin and yang kind of philosophy, I guess, where it's like for something happens, there's always a cause and effect, you know, kind of, I guess.
I feel like that's also like a slippery slope. Like, you know, like, so for example, would be like Bruce Wayne, his parents died. That was bound to happen. It was almost destiny in a way, kind of. That's a bad way to think about it. But like, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you believe it like that as like some sort of a faith, you know, I think it's like more.
The way it sounds, Stoicism, it sounds like it's like a faith or religion style thing, but it's not. It's basically
here. It's a philosophy.
It's a philosophy, and like going off the second quote here, this is just a more in depth of what happens in, for instance, the story Batman. It says this person argues that this is not what Batman is. The whole story of Batman reads like a fairy tale supposed to teach children to not get twisted by revenge, hate, and regrets. Pretty much that's like Stoicism in a nutshell. The first Batman, Adam West, was exactly this and more like a children's detective. And a few punches later, Tim Burton gave it a lot of darkness and angst as the bait for people with negative emotions. Wayne's dramatic childhood on itself is such clear setup for that moral at the end. One must be an idiot not to get it. He says here, let me see, what is it here? Okay, it says here, he gets himself tied up with fighting a whole army of psychopaths who are the exact opposite of that. The Joker's whole deal is not to physically defeat Batman, but break his stoicism in front of society. And since Bruce Wayne is a billionaire, you know, the fact that if you're that high up, you should be able to control everything. Yeah. And the Joker tries to break, you know, Bruce Wayne in that way.
Tries to make him lose
psychologically.
Tries to make him lose his calm and act irrationally under pressure.
Yep.
Essentially, he wants him to kill him because he knows that he wins.
But essentially, he'll kill himself in that way. Because then Joker wins. He's like,
Joker wins. He doesn't care. That's
because it defies the virtues of being a stoic. And with Batman, he has so many eyes on him, the public, a lot of people looking up to him. So he kind of doesn't have that freedom to kind of slip up. He's held at a different level than an average person. So his moment of weakness can spell like a lot of hypocrisy on his whole like standing for justice.
But what if he did break at one point?
If he broke at one point, God, I don't even know. I mean,
just like one example was like the killing joke at the end. We don't know. If
I think the public would forgive him.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they would.
So here's another line from it.
They would crucify him.
Another
killing a man.
They might.
Another Redditor. He says here, another person argues that the whole deal with the Joker is to show show Batman the truth, that he, Batman, is just as insane as everyone else, dressing up in a costume and going out punching guys every night when you could be using your vast unspendable wealth to create Gotham charities and fund education is not the behavior of a rational person. Batman's often called broody. He's got a lot of emotion. That kind of makes sense too.
See, here's where I kind of disagree with that assessment. Is like, well, Batman, okay, if he went the that route where he spent his vast amount of wealth on helping the public, there's still like enemies or villains out there that kind of transcend normal laws. So whatever he did in the political aspects or money aspects, there's still going to be a Joker out there killing mass amounts of people. So it's like, if he comes there as like a hero and dresses up in whatever suit he wants and combats that directly, that kind of sets a precedent for everybody else. It encourages other people to step up and become heroes. And it has like this like, I don't know. It has a cause and effect.
So let me tell you this. This person also had a really good idea too. Mm-hmm. With this talk about stoicism, is the Joker in fact stoic? The Joker doesn't act out in revenge or anything. He just does things.
He's rational.
He's actually really rational.
He's insanely rational.
He's just insanely
rational
in a way.
Insane. Yeah. Because if you think about it, emotions don't really control him.
Mm-hmm.
But he does it.
He doesn't act out in emotion. He just does things.
Does so because he wants his one. I mean, his
main
motivation is just to break the bat.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah.
There's no emotion to it.
I'm 50-50 because like with him and Harley Quinn, right? You can see so much emotion. Like you can see that emotional side of Joker a little bit with Harley Quinn, and then you can also. Well, the thing is,
he never. Really,
he's not. I wouldn't classify Joker as stoic. I would say he's so emotionally detached that he's just a sociopath.
I mean,
I would say he's more.
Most Stoics have been.
But is he more stoic than?
See, it's good that you bring that up. So, like the way. So okay. So a normal Stoic would is for that. They're advocating the development of self-control and fortitude as a means of like overcoming destructive emotions. So there's like a spectrum of Stoics that I see kind of. There's people on one end of Stoicism that see emotions as a hindrance, that see emotions as a problem and something that needs to be eliminated. And then there's that other spectrum of Stoicism that acknowledges emotions are there, acknowledges the importance of emotions, but knows and has self-control to detach and to give into emotions.
So they're aware.
They're aware of the emotions. And there's some people that are aware of the emotions and don't like them, and they suppress emotions. And I think that's where a lot of mental and psychological problems can occur, With Batman, I see 50-50 with him.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
see 50-50 now.
Yeah, it's like he suppresses a lot of that trauma, a lot of that emotion, and you can see has a lot of psychological repercussions with him. But luckily, he does have Alfred, his butler, there to kind of be that emotional support and emotional aid. But at the same time, he is very stoic. He's for justice. He hits every single 4 of the cardinal virtues. He's stoic. He has temperance. He's all about justice. And he's incredibly courageous.
But at the same time, so rereading the 4 cardinal, rereading the 4 cardinal virtues, wisdom to navigate complex situations in a logical, calm manner, temperance, exercise of restraint, self-restraint, and moderation in will. Justice, treating others with fairness, courage, facing daily challenges with charity and integrity. Yeah. So, I don't know about the last one, obviously, but
which we all previously mentioned, but I would honestly say that courage is.
Yeah, I mean, specifically what I'm about to bring up.
Oh yes,
I don't know exactly. In a way, Joker technically treats everyone the same way. Like garbage.
Yeah. He hates everything in
But that's not fair. I wouldn't say that's fair,
It's fair in that he's not treating you worse than you.
There's no prejudice in
no prejudice in what he does. He just kind of treats everyone his own henchmen.
He's like a force of nature. He's like has no
just blank.
But he completely defies the aspect. He completely defies the topic of justice, because justice is standing for what's right. Yeah, it's standing for what's good.
What's your definition of justice compared to someone else's definition of justice?
Is the definition of I wouldn't think
because that's a different one.
Well, there's always different versions.
See, I wouldn't think that the definition of justice is subjective.
Justice. I mean, I feel like it can be. I think it can. Really? It can be. It can be completely subjective. Like, what's my version of justice can be way different than yours. Like,
I guess there's
like
the bad people get treated.
An eye for an eye would be one form of justice. Essentially,
but is that necessarily something you should be? If someone does this, then should you do that?
Well, that's like
I guess,
I know that's not my thought, but I guess one definition.
I guess in his twisted way, he does have a sense of justice.
That is his justice.
Yeah, that is his justice.
But because he rationalizes that in his brain, and that's what a sociopath does.
But think about it: most
he's a psychopath?
Like people who think are doing good are doing the most worst. Essentially, men in power who think that they can do good.
Yeah. You see that throughout history, where people justify their
craziness,
their craziness, as good.
All in sense, because for them it's their way of
looking at
being right.
It's their way of looking. It's their perception.
It's their own justice, I guess you could say.
Yeah, in his sick, twisted way, I think Joker is a stoic in his mind, and I don't know, like with Joker, you always see so many different iterations throughout the comics, throughout the TV shows, throughout the movies. It's like
his main consistent like personality is always like,
it's just
chaos.
Crazy. Yeah, chaos, crazy.
No order, just like
he is courageous. He is courageous in a bad way, but he's
courageous. He doesn't care.
Some balls.
He doesn't care.
And
he went into Batman's own Batcave and destroyed it. Like, what do you mean?
That's crazy.
He just doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He's like, he didn't necessarily do anything to me. I don't know most people don't know the background to this man, obviously.
Now, does he have self-restraint? And is he moderate?
I mean, he's pretty.
He has shown it. He's moderate in that the sense that he does everything. Like
he does everything to everyone.
As moderately.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. See, I would like with moderation and self-restraint, I'll completely disagree, because Joker envelops himself in his emotions at times, and it's like he gives into like he's not moderate. He's not going to be like, oh, today I guess I'm just gonna kill one person. Like, no, I'm gonna kill everyone that I want.
It's moderate. It's always moderate. That's his own moderations. Everyone at all the time.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're looking at him like in his perception or in his mind, we won't ever know. But from his perception, he probably is all these things. Well, that's from him looking at it. But like from an outsider looking at the Joker and applying these traits to him, I wouldn't say he's moderate, and I would not say he has self-restraint. I mean, the guy kills on a whim. I remember seeing. I don't know if you guys seen The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I saw it.
With Heath Ledger playing Joker.
Yeah, I saw it.
Amazing performance by Heath Ledger. There was one scene where he was like in that gang meeting that he had all these bombs strapped to his
the grenades,
suit.
Yeah.
So remember the whole pencil trick? That was like completely unnecessary, and he just like clobbers the dude with the pencil. I'm like, what? Why? Yeah, I'm like, why? Yeah. For no reason. He's so spontaneous and just so
random.
He just does whatever.
Just released from reality, pretty much.
That's what I'm saying.
Way it feels.
Literally no self-restraint, no moderation. He does whatever the crap he wants to do.
In that way, I can see what you're talking about.
He's not calculated. Like, he is calculated, but he's not like some other villains.
At the same
time,
the
Riddler, the Riddler, that guy's kind of calculated.
He's that's what he is. He's just smart,
cold, calculated, very he practices a lot of self-restraint.
Treating others with fairness.
So
the Riddler he doesn't really do anything to anyone else. He just kind of does it to Batman.
Yeah,
or anyone who's against him.
Yeah, and
which is not fair, actually.
Yeah, and so I guess the Stoics' main goal is kind of to reach eudaimonia. Pretty much means happiness. Eudaimonia means happiness. It's like this mindset that allows you, because when you have a Stoic mindset, you find peace within your mind. Kind of, it's like you detach yourself from any like pain.
I feel like that's unhealthy too. Like, because the Stoic believes that all passion is bad. Think about it, but. So they're saying that compassion is bad. They're saying that
that's where justice,
concern for others, like
that. It goes back to the whole spectrum of Stoicism, You know, and on one spectrum, there is people that view emotions as bad, so they can be not empathetic, where they don't have empathy. At the same time, if you're talking about a Stoic that practices the 4 cardinal issues, he has justice, which, you know, you need to have compassion in order to have justice, kind of thing.
So one thing I want to tell everyone who listens to this, if you're interested in this topic, truly you should, I've seen on here, to take a look at a book by Marcus Aurelius, obviously back in like the 100s, you know, AD, called Meditations. It's basically, it says here, recording his private notes to himself and ideas on Stoic philosophy. So that's a good book to actually you know, take a look at.
And I want to ask you guys, by the way, like, where do you guys fall on this whole Stoicism topic? Like, would you guys classify yourself as Stoics? I personally think I would classify myself as a Stoic. At the same time, if I'm not a Stoic, I want to achieve that level.
I think that's everyone's goal, is to achieve that.
Well, you brought up like not having empathy with the whole Stoic mindset.
Yeah.
So would you ever see yourself being?
I'm not Stoic at all. I have too much empathy.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. I am definitely not Stoic. Yeah,
I'm not
either. Stoic. Okay, I'll say Stoic to an extent.
Yeah.
I can hold Stoicism for a while.
Yeah.
To a breaking point. So Stoic to an extent.
I think
like passive.
I can honestly say that I'm a man ruled by my emotions and my passions.
Yeah.
And I can be logical, but illogical at most of the time when I think. I feel
like people that are completely enveloped in passion, either like they're like their emotions are arranged. It's kind of like a graph or a roller coaster. It's like they can be, someone that's enveloped in passion can be the happiest person in the world at times, and then they can also be super sad, I feel like. And I feel like with the whole Stoicism for me, I feel like I'm trying to achieve Stoicism, and I feel there's moments where I feel like I'm Stoic. The main problem that I deal with, and I think the main problem a lot of people deal with you know, not letting emotions rule their judgment, is pride. Pride is like such a hard thing to overcome. It's like some people do very petty things just off.
Like Kendrick Lamar says, pride's going to be the death of you and me.
Yeah, that's why I find myself swallowing my pride a lot nowadays. And it takes so much. Like, it takes so much to do that. And it's like,
I feel like we as men cannot let our pride go.
Yeah, especially see, that's what I was just
Human
about to say.
Beings in general, honestly.
It was with a girl though. Like, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of times where I find myself just apologizing, even if I'm wrong. Like, I apologize even if I'm wrong, and and I don't even know. Even it's like. Sorry, I apologize even if I was right. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like, wait a minute. You should apologize if you're wrong.
Yeah, I apologize even if I'm right. Like, just to kind of put myself in their shoes, you know. I'm not just saying I'm submissive or like, you know, I'm giving on everything. I'm so apologetic. No, it's like there's some moments where it's like the argument has escalated to a point where it really doesn't need to get to that point, and I swallow my pride, and I'm like,
just take the L.
So I'm like, I'll take the L.
So let me go on the opposite side of the spectrum then. So the opposite of Stoicism is Epicureanism. Okay.
Ooh.
And the main point
on another podcast too.
But I'm just gonna have to show up.
Yeah, we'll briefly bring it up.
The main points: free will is central. So compared to Stoicism, let me just do the comparison. Compared to Stoicism, free will is an illusion in Stoicism.
Yeah, because everything happens with cause effect. It's like a web,
a chain reaction.
Reaction.
Yeah, free will.
And Stoics also think all good and bad must be accepted without emotion. You know, so you shouldn't. Good and bad is without emotion. Epicureans think human beings are solely responsible for their own fate, more or less. Religion is an illusion. Live with moderation in all things. And then Stoics also think
live with moderation.
Huh?
Stoics also
they also live with moderation. The ideal man is a strong, non-emotional man of reason who accepts whatever happens.
I like that.
I actually like that too. And virtue is the highest good. Virtue is the highest good and based on reason, not emotion. So that's Stoicism, and Epicureanism was the other four. So it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Whether, it says Epicureans believe that nature runs the universe without the aid of gods. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see. Going down more. It says Epicureans believe that moderation in all things was the best way to be happy. However, over time, Epicureans became coupled with most minds on hedonism, which is a whole nother topic. Or belief that you should not deny yourself any pleasure.
Pleasure, essentially.
And that's when you don't do anything in moderation, and thus not being stoic.
Yeah, Epicureanism
Adam Smith said that men are ruled by pleasure.
Yeah, by pleasure.
Essentially.
So hedonism as well.
Our tastes are around our pleasures, like the foods we eat, the clothes we wear.
I feel like if you were to be hedonistic, it requires an incredible amount of self-control.
I know, it'd be
like
insane.
I can't even imagine, bro. Like, oh my goodness.
Really, to be hedonist? That's when you give in to your.
That's when you give in.
I thought hedonistic was
the
when you
belief
deny.
that you should not deny yourself any pleasure.
You should not deny any pleasure.
Or you should not deny.
Do everything.
So if you're a male or female and you see this person and you're like, I want
Sounds
to
like
have
Joker.
pleasure.
Sounds like Joker.
That kind of does. It kind of honestly does.
He gives pleasures.
He gets pleasure from
pleasure
anything.
from pain of others.
So he acts on his pleasure.
Oh yeah, he just hit it. Yeah, he gets pleasure from pain of other people.
Yes.
What was that one scene in Dark Knight where he's like, "You want to know how I got these scars?"
Oh yeah,
and then he's like, because he's like he dealt with so much. Oh my god,
his backstory is insane, and there's still mysteries about really his backstory.
That's what makes the story of Batman so fascinating. Is because you see two people with disgustingly horrible pasts, right? Horrible emotional trauma, a lot of PTSD. Then you see one person on one end of the spectrum evolve to that one end of the spectrum, and then another person evolve to another end of the spectrum. It's like you see someone standing for justice, and then you see someone just giving into pleasure, causing pain in order to psychologically cope.
All it took was one bad day for both of these men to drastically change them like that.
Exactly.
That's all.
It's insane. Takes. One bad day changed everything.
It takes one day. That's all. Essentially,
one moment
in your life,
and you can immediately flip,
drastically change you from one to another,
to make you famous or infamous.
Yeah. So here I'm looking at this article. It's actually really interesting on the website. The shorter word. It says, "How would you define Christianity's view of pain and fear and the role they play? Are we to make our aim in life to rid ourselves of pain? How about fear? How do they have a purpose?" So it's
stoic. So it's just stoic. I see. For me personally, I see it as stoicism. I attribute a lot of the traits of stoicism to a Christian because they have this deeper sense of purpose. And so when someone dies, I guess I'm not speaking for all, kind of see it as like, this happened and it probably happened for a reason kind of thing.
Think about it. I don't think it's Christian at all whatsoever. Because if you think about it, the Stoics believe that there's like already a predestined cause and effect. There's no higher power that decides what you do. So if you think about it like that, there's no reason for there to be some sort of like higher power in Stoicism. It's like it's already predestined. All you can do is like decide how to like.
I guess in that whole
react to the outcome.
If you look at it that way, there isn't much of a contrast. But I guess I can. What I'm trying to say is, I guess I can see some traits of a Stoic in a Christian, where at least the detachment from emotion in some aspects. Like when a tragedy happens, it happens for a reason, kind of thing, and they have this deeper sense of purpose because they believe that there is a God that created the universe. So it doesn't feel like, if you don't believe in that, it kind of fills you with emptiness a little bit when you look into the stars and realize that this all happened in a split second because of the Big Bang.
Think about it, because Stoics believe that in rational philosophy that it doesn't rely on like irrationalities or superstitions as face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's like no external force.
Exactly. And sometimes religion can cause someone to act irrationally at times because
historically speaking, it always causes to act irrationally for fear of the afterlife.
Yeah, so it's like it's interesting to see Stoicism applied to different religions, especially Christianity.
Or like philosophies, like Eastern philosophies, like Buddhism. I can see some similarities.
Yeah,
Buddhism.
A lot of traits from Buddhism, because Buddhism, correct me if I'm wrong, it's kind of detaching yourself from desire.
Yeah.
Essentially,
to achieve that nirvana.
At the same time, too, with Christianity, it is kind of to release yourself from desire and everything like that, too.
Yeah.
Because, if people truly follow everything in the Bible, like everything in the Bible, they truly follow everything. One, you will not have this phone. You will not have this life. You will not have anything. It's just essentials, essentially. To live, that's all you'll do, and you won't act out in emotion. Like you won't act out, lash out in emotion or anything.
I guess it gets really, really complex and convoluted. But I guess I think there is a parable in the Bible where I'm drawing this all from memory. So there's a parable in the Bible where a rich man asked Jesus, "How can I get to the kingdom of heaven?" And he said, "It's harder for a camel to get through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven." So he said, sell all your wealth to the poor, and come follow me, kind of thing. So I guess in that aspect, I don't know. It's like 50-50.
It's a mix.
It's like 50-50 for me, because it's like, all right, Christians pay, back in the Bible, they used to pay tithe or something like that, where you give a certain percentage of your earnings to the church, kind of thing. So it's like, I feel like you can live a pretty decent life and be a Christian without a doubt. Now you can also go the other route and completely devote your life to Christianity and sell all your excess wealth to the poor and give out to charity and completely envelop yourself in that. So I don't know, there's like different ways of following the religion, I feel like. But going back to Stoicism, I feel like I do see certain elements of it, and I do see certain elements of Buddhism in Stoicism.
Also Confucianism.
Confucianism.
Or Confucius.
Yeah. And that's like a whole
different
topic.
This
whole, and I really love the Confucian. Like I took Interpreting Asian Past.
Me too.
Yeah.
Who you take it with?
Yeah, I took it with the old ex-military guy.
Yeah, what's his name?
I forgot his name. I don't think we should put it up in the podcast.
No, but it's a person.
Yeah. He's an amazing teacher for Interpreting Asian Past, and one of the biggest...
Unfortunately, he's not here anymore, but he was...
Oh, really?
Yeah, he retired.
Yeah.
He was a great teacher.
Amazing professor. And one of the elements in Interpreting Asian Past, a massive, was placed on a massive importance was placed on Confucianism and the whole Confucian philosophy, which I would love to follow, by the way.
So
I love it.
So let me break the mood a little bit and let's like enlighten things a little bit. Okay, so here's a picture that I have. It says here, it says, "Do you have a problem? Yes. Can you do something about it? If yes, then don't worry about it. If you can't do anything about it, don't worry about it. Do you have a problem? Oh, you don't? Don't worry about it anyway." That's pretty much it.
If you have a problem, just escape all your problems. And don't worry about all your problems.
That's pretty much it. That's the summary of the whole thing. There's literally a Reddit / Stoicism.
And that I don't know. That doesn't. I would never look at Stoicism like that.
But it pretty much is. If you have a problem and you can't do anything about it or anything, just don't worry about it.
Because it says
a really watered down version of Stoicism.
Yeah, it's a really watered down, but it's like the meme.
I don't
value.
even agree with that, because it says if you have a problem,
deal with it,
and you can do something about it, run away from it. Don't worry about it.
That's what the chart says.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
That's not what Stoicism exactly says.
Yeah, absolutely not. Because the whole Stoic mentality is reacting to an event, reacting to a problem, reacting to something.
Calm and informed.
With calm.
And logical.
Yeah, calm, logical manner.
So if you're able to react to it in those aspects.
Yeah, and it's like...
if you're given the choice to actually act upon it.
If a problem happens, logically, you can't find a solution, what do? You're not going to dwell on those emotions and feel sad. You're just going to allow it to happen, because you can't control things. There's some things you can't control. You can't control everything that happens to you.
Yeah,
it's just an interesting, it's an interesting, stupid chart.
Yeah.
But hey.
But I think we hit the max point. Let's kind of tie everything together. Stoicism, remember, has four cardinal virtues, and it means 4 cardinal virtues being wisdom, temperance, justice, courage. I guess colloquially now it kind of means one who remains calm under pressure and remains calm under emotional extremes, finds a logical solution, kind of thing. And that's kind of what a Stoic kind of means. I hope we were able to kind of explain what Stoicism is in an efficient and, well, in a manner that makes sense. You guys have any other...
To the common man.
Yeah, you guys have any other last thoughts on Stoicism?
I think we hit the points.
Not really.
I think we hit it.
I think we hit the points.
So, final thoughts. I'm not a stoic at all.
Final thoughts, you're not a Stoic?
At all.
I am not.
At all.
You're not a Stoic at all?
No.
I would say a part of me is, and I definitely want to achieve
Yes.
Stoicism.
I like the idea, but I don't think it can be practiced in this modern day.
Yeah.
That's where I disagree entirely, because I see a lot of businessmen being very stoic.
So here's the
'Cause
last
in
thought.
business, one of the main components of business is not acting under emotion. It's acting under calm and logical, calculated moves.
So here's the
Playing
last
chess.
thought, though.
Chess too. A lot of chess masters.
Here's the last final closing thought. Okay, so tying back to one other thing that we recorded in the past. If the Earth worldwide, we want to reach another level of civilization, it'd be kind of a good idea not to act on emotion and work together, and that's how you reach success and stuff like that.
If you want to reach that type. By the way, I made a comment about. Well, I don't think we even ever released it.
I don't think we did.
Yeah, but we talked about different civilizations. Michio Kaku. What was the? It was like some chart.
5 levels of civilization.
Yeah, 5 levels of civilization. We might
release the
hidden
cast.
Are we on
hidden
like
cast.
3rd level or something? Currently?
We're on
like
reached,
barely 1.
We're type 0.
Type 0?
Yeah. We're about to reach type 1 in the next. I'd say
20
100
knows
years.
how long,
I think
but
it's
yeah.
100 years.
We'll hold that
yeah.
thought, though. Hold that thought.
We'll hold that thought for
Hold that
another
thought.
podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that wraps up this podcast on Stoicism. You guys have anything else you guys want to say or plug?
Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing having you as well. Make sure you guys stay updated with our videos on YouTube, youtube.com/AquaBlack. These podcasts are now available on iTunes and the podcast app on your iPhone. Every iPhone has a podcast app. All you have to do is go to the search and type in AquaBlack, AquaBlack, and you will see our podcast there. Make sure you subscribe and give it a 5-star rating, as well as look out for some other things that we have. Make sure you stay up to date with us and follow us on Twitter, AquaBlack, AquaBlack X, and Instagram, MJ_slam, MJ_SLAM. And that's it, guys. You guys have an amazing day, and we'll enjoy Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Peace.